Tabletop CP. Today we're back on the peninsula for another game of Sharp Practice. Yeah, so it's great to be playing Sharp Practice again. I'll be playing a custom mission tonight called the Banner of Agua Caliente, starring Richard Sharp and his men attempting to raise the banner from the tower. So as the standard caveat with all of our custom missions, we have not play tested it, but hopefully it goes smooth. It should. We usually have no problem with Sharp Practice. So Steve will be joining me tonight, and he'll be playing the French, I'll be playing the British. Let's get started with the briefing. So starting off with the terrain, we're using cigar box battle mats today, 2 of them. So we layered one over the other. So this is the medieval town mat or medieval city mat here, and then this is the rattlesnake ranch mat. So really awesome mats, both of them. And this is something you can do with these mats, is put them on top of each other and make 2 different kinds of environments. Super cool. So check out the description if you want to get one of these. So game terms, first the main feature here is this wall. So the wall is going to be tall, blocks line of sight. It's also going to have a firing step all along the wall as well for the sentries, which we'll go over here in the mission. All the buildings are going to be hard cover. These walls are hard cover as well. They're short walls. We have a soft cover fence over there around the orchard, so standard orchard rules for that. Another one of those wooden fences here. And over here we have some dense terrain, I'll call it. It's going to block line of sight within 4 inches. Got a small hill with the windmill on top, and then 2 small rocks, and that's about it. So let's go ahead and talk about the mission. Alright, the Banner of Agua Caliente. Sharp and his men must raise the flag of Agua Caliente from the tower of Rio Manteca to stir the locals into rebellion against the French. And this is the tower of Rio Manteca. This is going to be a sneak attack mission. So it's going to be dawn, or this is just before dawn. It's going to be dark. It's going to be a 12-inch visibility. And it will stay dawn until Sharp either gets spotted by the sentries or he gets to the tower. Once he gets to the tower, it will be daylight, and then everyone can see normally. There are the 2 sentries here. They will patrol back and forth along the wall when the blank card comes out, or at the tiffin if the blank card does not come out. So they'll just go back and forth, and when they're done stopping after a 6-inch move, they'll face out. As I said, there's a firing step along the wall, and Sharp and his men can enter through either of these gaps. They can move up to it and go over it, but it's 2d6 or move the highest. And they can also sneak in and unlock the gate as well for the follow-on forces. We also have some captured British sailors from the HMS Swallow held prisoner in the basement of this house. Their weapons are going to be stacked outside, and Sharp and his men can release them on a task roll of 6. That could be part of the sneak attack, or they can do it after dawn breaks, or once the fighting begins and the shots start coming, the guys can try to break out of there as well on their own with a task roll of 6 and join the battle. The French will have 2 units on the board. They're going to have 2 units of voltigeur skirmishers, and they will be starting off in one of the buildings. The French player can keep that secret and just note it, and when the time comes for them to come out, which is when the firing starts or when Sharp reaches the tower or any kind of alarm is raised, they will start being able to activate. So they will be in a house, any house that the French player chooses. There will be some French reinforcements as well, and they will start arriving D3 turns after the first shot is fired. There's going to be the line troops will come in from either road, and then there's one group of Laguerre light infantry in there that can come in anywhere along the eastern board edge. Sharp and his 2 groups of light infantry are going to be starting from the board edge, or if they get a movable deployment point, they can deploy from that. British reinforcements will start arriving from the road when their card is drawn, once the first shot is fired. Again, the objective is to raise the Banner of Agua Caliente from the tower, and Sharp has the banner with him, so he has to get up to the top of the tower, raise the flag, and they have to leave it up there long enough for the locals to see it. So it can be up there to end the game. You can play 4 flags. The British player can play 4 flags, or if the chapter ends, it will end, or if the chapter ends when the flag is flying, the game will end as well. And that's pretty much it. It's kind of a complex mission. I went a little overboard on it maybe, but it should still be fun hopefully. So let's go ahead and take a look at the forces. Starting with the British force. So there's no point values. I did not do point values. I usually just do this by eyeball and by field basically. So I have no idea what the points here are. But starting off here, we have Sharp. He's going to be a level 3 leader, so it's Captain Richard Sharp and his group of 95th Rifles. They're light infantry. They have sharp practice and tap reload. Starting the game on the board with him are going to be 2 groups of light infantry skirmishers. First one led by level 1 Lieutenant Dan. The second one by Sergeant Lankowski. And they're light infantry with sharp practice. The HMS Swallow crew, they will be starting on the board in one of the buildings. So it's a 12-man mob led by level 1 Captain Richard Clark. They're aggressive. They have mixed weapons. Only half may fire. They have pikes and cutlasses, which counts them as clan in the first round of fisticuffs if they charged. The British reinforcements consist of one formation of 3 groups of light company men. They are light bobs. They have sharp practice. They also have thin red line. And also coming in is going to be one group of Royal Dragoons, led by level 1 leader Doug Eaglesham. So they have gallop at anything, reluctant infantry, which isn't going to count in this one because they're going to stay mounted for the game, and they have tally-ho. And I should mention that the light company is led by level 2 leader James Milholland. And that's it. That's the British force. Let's take a look at the French. The French force is going to be the 2 groups of voltigeur skirmishers. And they're going to be starting on the board in the buildings. The first one is led by where is he? Right back here, Sergeant Martin Fraser. We also have Sergeant Hume. So they're going to be the level 1 leaders controlling the voltigeur skirmishers. The reinforcements are going to consist of 2 groups of grenadiers. They are regulars and they are aggressive. And they have the big man with them, and he is Olivier Decalone, Major Decalone. They're also going to have 2 groups of conscripts. They have pas de charge, and these, I don't think those guys have it. I'll double check, but these guys do. They're conscripts, and they're led by Captain Russell. And up here we have one group of Laguerre light infantry skirmishers. They're going to have sharp practice, and they're going to be commanded by Lieutenant Pierre. And lastly, we have a light cannon led by Lieutenant Horton, and it has sharp practice. And that will be the French force. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, Steve has arrived, and we have rolled force morale. We both got an 11. As far as support, we're both going to be bringing the same thing: a holy man, a physic, and a musician. And with that, we're going to let Steve show you where his 2 units are going to be starting on the board.
There.
Okay. So there we go. Those are where the 2 voltigeur units are going to be sleeping. And that's pretty much it. So Sharp and his guys are just going to be starting on the board edge. The sun will come up. I don't know if I went over this, but when we get to the tower, the sun will come up. And that's pretty much it. So we'll go ahead and get started. All right, here we go. Steve's the card guy. So starting off, we have the blank card, which means the sentries will do their movement. All right, Steve has moved both sentries to the north 6 inches, and they're facing out. So that's how they're going to work. So next card. That's one of your voltigeurs. I guess we don't even really need to have those in there, but I want to have more cards in the deck for now. So keep going.
They're snoring.
They're sleeping, and that's the Tiffin. Okay, move on to the next turn. Okay, leader 2, red leader 2, that is Lieutenant Dan. Lieutenant Dan just advance in over here. It's behind the trees. Use all 3 actions for that. So we got next card, please. And that is, who's that? Sergeant Lankowski. Sergeant Lankowski and his men just came in there next to the windmill. Got a 12-inch move with all 3 actions. Next card. Blue flag. Blue flag. Blue flag is what I was afraid of. So 3, that's a random event, right?
Yeah.
So that'll be Lankowski. So the random event was tell the men to sing, but they have to be in column for that to work, so nothing. So next card. That is the sentries again. The sentries just move back this way. Remember, he's on the firing step, so he can see over the wall. Next one has 4 flags. Okay. Well, there's not really a whole lot you can do with that right now.
Take a second action, okay.
You could activate something that's already activated, so you can move the sentries again. That's really all you
Oh,
can.
I'm blue? I thought you
Yeah.
were blue. Oh.
No, you're blue.
Okay.
Yeah, my cards are in my hand.
Right, I'll move the sentries again.
Okay. Nothing happened. So originally, I don't know if I mentioned this in the briefing, but as written, I said that the sun would come up when the 4 flags came out. Then Steve and I were talking about it, and one of my concerns was exactly this, that there's not many cards in the deck, and that the 4 flags would not be that hard to get, and it might get light too early for the mission to actually
Be fun.
yeah, be the mission. It just turned into a regular game, so we changed that. I'm not sure I even mentioned that because I kind of had that concern when I was doing the briefing. But anyway, there's really no reason for, there's nothing Steve can do with those. So he brought Blue Leader 1. That's Fraser. He's asleep. And the Tiffin. Yep, you're asleep. So next card. A blue flag. I don't know if I mentioned another thing I didn't mention in the briefing. The reason Steve's cards are in the deck and mine are in my hand is because Steve's asleep and I'm awake. So I have more control of my guys and I know what's going on. He doesn't. So that's Blue Leader 2. So nothing. All these things in my head that the reason that his cards are in there for the 2 guys that are asleep is because I wanted more cards in the deck. So it's all a mess. But anyway, that's going to be the sentries again. Steve has just moved the sentries around again, kind of towards where I am. So next card, Sharp is still not on the board. That's you. Okay, that's Lieutenant Dan again. Lieutenant Dan is moved around to the left of those trees there. Kind of has an idea where that sentry is. Next card. Blue flag. There he is. That's Captain Sharp. Captain Sharp and his men have moved the far left flank of mine. And next card. That's going to be Lankowski again. Lankowski got a 7-inch move. He just moved straight ahead, staying behind those trees. Careful not to get in line of sight of that sentry there. The next card. Another flag, and then the Tiffin. Okay. First card is Fraser, sleep. Flag, Lankowski. Okay. Now it's going to get interesting. Do I stay there? Wait to see where the sentry goes? Do I come around this way? I'm going to start being able to be seen if I do that. So maybe I'll just come out this way. So I just leave Lankowski there behind those trees for now. So next card. Flag. Alright, it's Lieutenant Dan. Lieutenant Dan has made a move to the gate. Next card. Tiffin. So the sentries can move on the Tiffin. This guy moved here. This guy moved down here. And hey, he sees some British guys sneaking around in the dark. So he's going to shout, halt. And he's going to take a musket shot. He's got a hit. Okay, so in the open but soft cover because I'm skirmishers, I take a point of shock. And the alarm has been raised, which means the timer now begins. So roll a d6. So 3 turns. It's going to be 3 turns before the French reinforcements arrive. The British reinforcements can start arriving in the next turn. So I'll put their flags in and we'll go on to the next turn. Okay, the alarm is raised. So Fraser and Hume can start acting. And it's still dark. Blue flag. Blue flag. 2, that's right. Hume. Okay, so that's one of your groups of voltigeurs. So where are they?
Well, I didn't say which group is in which building.
Yeah, they're the same.
Yeah, they're the same. All right.
So we'll let Steve decide which one he's gonna bring out.
Who the ones coming out of
the house. Okay. So Steve has brought Fraser. They woke up. They heard the shouting of the sentry. They rushed out into the little courtyard there of the house they were sleeping in. And next card, that is that's Lieutenant Horton, my cavalry. Horton has run in at the gallop. Only got a 15-inch move. Yeah, I rolled 3 2s, but you add 9 to that, so they've wound up right there. So, next card, another blue flag. That's Sharp again. Sharp has got a 14-inch move. So what I did is I used one of my flags in hand. His step out's 1, so I was able to add a d6 of movement. So 4d6, he got a 15-inch move, I believe, or 14. So he's up there now. So next card. That's 4 flags. Damn. So you could activate somebody. Fraser could activate. You could activate the other group of skirmishers, Hume.
I'll bring the sun up.
You could bring the sun up. Oh no, we decided against that. We're gonna leave it dark until I get to the tower, assuming I make it that far. So we'll let Steve decide.
I'll go soon. I'm just gonna hope the Tiffin doesn't come in. I'm gonna go ahead and activate that squad.
Okay, so he's gonna bring Hume in, and he's in that little house over there. Hume has come out. He had to use 2 actions. He rolled the 1 on his free move. So he had to roll again. So he's used one of his actions and the free action. He's got to there. He's within 12, so he can see Sharp. So he's going to fire at Sharp, needing 3s.
And that's a pretty good roll.
That's all of them. That's 7 hits, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have to roll in the open. Oh damn, 2 dead. And 2 shock. It's not Sharp though, thankfully. So 2 dead and 2 shock. That was a nice shot by Fraser. That was Hume, not Fraser. Okay, next card.
We can reload, right?
Nope.
2 moves in. Okay.
Yeah. So he's unloaded.
Double unloaded, right?
No, they don't have. They have muskets.
Okay.
5. So that is my Melhall and my line troops. Okay, I started out on column on the road, so Melholland and his light company men have got a 16-inch move, a hell of a roll. So they're right up there behind Lieutenant Dan now. The next card. That is Lieutenant Dan. Alright, Lieutenant Dan got a pretty good roll. -1 for the shock, so he's almost up to the wall. Next card. So that's Fraser.
He already went. Oh no.
No, that was last turn, right?
That was last turn. Yeah.
Fraser has gone over the wall. He's heading towards the courtyard of the church there. So next card. That's Lankowski. So I moved up with 2 actions. Couldn't get within line of sight due to the darkness of Hume. So I just moved again, and now Lankowski's up towards the wall.
So you're not going to shoot.
I can't. I don't have any actions left.
You had a free move, right?
I did my free move and 2 moves, 2 move actions.
Copy.
Next card. Oh, the Tiffin. And I took the sentries out, by the way. They ran back to be with their unit. So we'll move on to the next turn. First card. Blue flag. I gotta get some more of my flags in there. It's Lankowski again, alright? Lankowski charging the breach. We gotta clear this out. We gotta get to the tower before the French reinforcements get here. So, Lankowski, he's coming in. And I'm gonna have 9 dice. And Steve's only gonna have 5 because he's unloaded. And needing 5s and 6s. Oh my god.
That's a good roll.
That is an amazing roll. Okay, so I got 3 6s and 3 5s.
4 still isn't a 5 though.
Was there a 4 in there? Still, it's still good.
Still a good roll.
And then swinging back, he totally whiffs.
Whiffed. Yeah, nothing.
So Lankowski just demolished Hume in the breach. So you're gonna roll for your leader. You gotta roll a 6 not to be him. It's not Hume. So you're gonna lose 5 dudes. You're gonna take 3 shock, and you've lost by more than 4. So we'll figure out what happens. Yeah. So good job, Lankowski. Just completely cleared the breach. What's left of it's Hume and 1 guy with 7 shock. First they fell back 18 for losing by 4. They took 4 more shock, and then they broke. So they're way the hell back there now with 7 shock. So next card. That's my cavalry. It was Eaglesham. It was red 6, not Horton if I said that. But he dropped the canter and he got way up there. So we're about to pour through that breach. Sharp has the flag with him. My 1 flag. That's Fraser. That's these guys here.
Yeah.
Fraser has hopped the wall, taking a position there. Next card. 2. That's your. No, you can pull a shock. You never know. You might eventually get back into the game.
So we didn't roll the bad things happen.
Oh, yes, we'll do that. So we'll do that right after this. So pull the next card. Blue flag. Next card. That's 4. That's Richard Clark. That is the sailors, and they are trapped in the cellar of that building. So we're going to start the task roll. It's a 10. I think I said 6 in the briefing, but it's actually a 10. So let's see if they can break out of the. So I'm halfway there. The door is halfway broken down. Next card. That's Lieutenant Dan. Lieutenant Dan just made it to the wall. I tried to go over, couldn't make it. Another blue flag. That's the blank, which is the sentries who are gone. Leader 5, that's Mel Holland. That's my line, my formation. Mel Holland and his guys left the road. They got an 8-inch move. They're heading towards the gap. Gate's locked. It's a task roll of 24 to break it down, which I'll be there all day trying to do that. These guys could hop the wall and unlock it from the inside, but Fraser is right there. So we're just going to have to shoot the gap. Next card. Damn, that's 4. Okay, so you got 4. So you could activate
The 1 unit I have.
these guys again. Take my chances. I'm hoping Sharp comes out and then I can play my last 3 flags out of my hand to activate something again, and no, it's the Tiffin. So, okay, I'll use that to activate Sharp. But the last, or after, post Tiffin, I use my 1 flag to move Sharp. I couldn't pull any shock because it's after the Tiffin, so I only got a 4-inch move, and we'll move on to the next turn.
You pull shock off him, right?
No, he's done. First card. Hey, look at that, blue flag. What else is new?
That's all I've got in here. Flags.
Pretty much.
I don't have any other.
So the next turn after this is when Steve's guys are going to start coming in. So that is Lieutenant Dan, who's right up against the wall there. Okay, he's still got that shock. I think I'll just pull the shock. Let's just get that out of the way. So next card. Lankowski, the hero so far. Lankowski ran all 3 of his moves over to towards the orchard there. Take up position in there. Find some cover. So next card. That's Fraser. That's these guys again. Fraser's going to stay put. Another flag. I got to get my flags in the deck here. 4 is Clark. So that's my sailors trying to bash the door down up the cellar. They're at a 5. I need 5 more. Oh yeah, they're coming out. So next turn, when their flag comes out, they'll be able to act normally. Grab their weapons and get going. So they'll be coming in same turn as your guys come in. So red flag. Blue flag. Ah, the Tiffin. Damn it. Okay. Well, you have nothing to do.
These guys could activate, right?
You can, yeah.
Okay.
But you can't pull any shock.
I can just move them, though.
You can move.
So
yeah.
that they're not in the way of
Yeah, you can
this
move out of the way.
huge force that's about to come rolling in.
Yeah, you can definitely move them. And then I will,
Or so I have to subtract 6 shock now?
unless you're going away from me.
Oh, let's go away from
Like
that.
if you go over in that corner over there, you could do it. And with my 1 flag, I'm going to activate Sharp. In my post Tiffin, I moved Sharp up. He's moved through the gap. He's heading towards the tower with the banner. So move on to the next turn.
So I can put
Here we go. French reinforcement cards are in the deck. So we got a huge deck of cards here. Red flag. Blue flag. Leader 5. Who is that? That is Pierre. That is your Laguerre light infantry. Pierre has run into the orchard there. Still dark. But he got a hell of a move. So he's up there in the orchard. Red 3. It's hey, what do you know? It's Lankowski again. So the Lankowski, all 3 actions, he's run through that little gap in the fence there. And he is now in there with Pierre. The next die. Our card. That is Fraser again. So these guys here, they're just on the lookout, waiting for the sun to come up. Blue 3, that's Major Olivier, who is your Grenadiers, your big man. Major Olivier's come in there and column. Pretty decent move. They're all the way up there now. Next card. Is it a 4 or a 6? I can't tell.
That's a 6.
A 6. That's who is that? Horton. That's your cannon. Horton has come in. Got a pretty bad move, a 2-inch move, but he's on the board now, right there on the road. Next card. Blue flag. Next card. 2. That's Hume, who's he could take a shock off. Was he down to 5 now?
Nope, down to 5.
Okay. Next card. Red 4, it's Clark. So that's my sailors in here. So they are ready to come out. Clark and the HMS Swallow crew are out. We're going to say they grabbed their weapons, loaded them, so that's all they're going to be able to do this turn. So next card. That is Captain Sharp. I had Sharp, he pulled 1 shock, moved up 7, still not quite to the tower, so it's not light yet, but it's getting close. And he also ordered Eagle Sham just to move up. Didn't get a great move, went to the walk and got part of the way into the breach. Next card.
Tiffin.
Ah, the Tiffin. Well, that's interesting. So you have 2, but I think everything of yours is gone.
They didn't go right. That was last turn.
No, that was this turn. That's Pierre,
Oh,
he's
that's 1.
5.
Yeah, okay.
So pretty much I have one thing to do, which is actually I have 2 cards. I have cards off in hand too. So I think what I'll do is I'll burn one out of my hand, and then I'll use the one on the table to activate both of these.
No.
Okay, first I had Mel Holland. I got to burn one of these flags here, Steve. Throw that in there. Use that to activate Mel Holland post Tiffin. He got a pretty good move, 11. So he's through the breach. And then I had Lieutenant Dan. He just made it over, but he is over the wall. So here we are, ready to get the flag going. So move on to the next turn. First card. Oh, that's Sharp. Okay, so we'll say he's going to get the tower. So at the end of this turn, or the start of the next turn, the sun will come up. So let's just see how far up the tower we can go. Yeah, I think we'll make it up to the top. So he's just going to go up to the top of the tower. Next card. Hey, blue flag. There's a lot of those coming out. Red leader 5. Oh, that's Mel Holland, so that's my line troops. He's a level 2, so what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to snap these guys in. Okay, the Mel Holland, Captain Mel Holland just had the guys snap in, so we're in line now. Fraser is in trouble. And the 6 is, that's Horton, that's your cannon, but it's still dark so we can't see anything, but he can move. Horton and his cannon got a 5-inch move. They just advanced up on the road, facing Mel Holland's boys. Next card is
6.
That's the blue 4.
A 4. Yeah, I can read.
Captain Russell. That's your. Oh, that's the guys off the board. The conscripts. Captain Russell has come in with his guys, so he did something a little different. He's level 2, so he ordered the first group to come in by itself. and they ran up here, 2d6. And then he used 1d6 to bring the second group in. And he's going to fire at Clark and the boys here. So it's going to be, you're within 12, right? So it's going to be...
That's got to be within 12.
Yeah, you're within 12. It's a 4, but 3 because you do get first fire. So needing 3s. And this will be a doubling shot, flank shot. Looks like all but 2 hit.
That's a cock die.
So 8 hits. Okay, all but 3 hits. So it's 7 hits. Stay in the open, so...
I think that's soft cover though, right? I'm shooting through a fence.
Holy crap. That's a pretty good... So if you give me soft cover, that means I took 2 shock and a dead. Wow. I got really lucky there. And I don't check for leader, so just 2 shock and a dead. Okay, next card. I got really lucky. They're unloaded. That's red leader 4. That happens to be Captain Clark, who is only a level 1 leader. Okay, I used the last 2 cards in my hand to make Clark a level 3. I pulled the 2 shock, and I ran in, so I took a shock on the way in. Just want to make sure I can make it. So I'm going to have 1 shock, which isn't going to affect the fisticuffs. But I did charge, so I counted as clan, which gives me 10 dice. Plus he's a level 3, which gives me 13 dice, and then they're aggressive, so I'm at 15. The Grenadiers were like at 13 with all their stuff, but it's half of that because I'm hitting them in the flank. So it's 15 against 7. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, only 4 hits. I only got 4. And only 1 6. So roll your 7.
Oh, that looks like a shit roll.
1, that's another crappy roll. So you only got 1 5. Okay, we'll sort it out. And after all said and done, Olivier was killed. 3 guys were killed in the group. So 1 group broke and ran off. And then the other group the supporting group is stuck here with 3 shock and no leader. And they're going to have to activate on 2 flags or a flag after the Tiffin from the rest of the game. They'll never be able to pull that shock off.
3 shock.
And he's down to 8 force morale. He lost 1 for the leader being killed. He lost 1 for the group breaking, and he got nothing lost for the formation being broken by fisticuffs. So in the end, that's what it looks like. Dead leader, a couple dead grenadiers and stuff scattered around, and then 1 group leaderless with 3 shock. Next card. Red flag. Red 2, that's, who's that? Lieutenant Dan. I've advanced Lieutenant Dan up 5 inches, and he's going to take a shot. We'll give Frazier hard cover because I'm not quite up against the wall. But first fire, so I'm needing a 4 minus 2 for first fire and light infantry, so anything but. So that's going to be 6 hits on Frazier, so hard cover. And looks like you got a dead and a shock. So check your leader, because it could be Frazier. He took a dude out. It's not him. So you lost 1 guy and took a shock. This card. The blue 3, that is, well, that was your Grenadier leader who's now dead. So you can take that card out of the deck. And the Tiffin. Wow, okay, so you have 1, I have 1. My force morale is higher, so I will go first. I'm going to have Lankowski fire at Pierre. So he's moved up these 6 inches, got really close, but we'll both be in hard cover here from shooting. So I'm going to fire and reload. And needing 2s, because he hasn't fired yet. So that's
Six.
actually 5 hits because I can't add. I don't think I add his because he's post Tiffin. Oh no, I still add it. So we'll be able to add. So 6 hits, hard cover. Because you're in the orchard as skirmishers. Oh damn, 2 dead. So check your leader. It's not Pierre, but 2 dead guys. And I'll reload. And then Steve can do one thing after the Tiffin. Steve has turned these guys. He's going to fire into the sailors needing 3s.
It's a little better.
What is that?
5 hits.
5 hits. Hopefully I don't roll that. In the open, I'll just use your dice. 2 dead and 2 shock. So let's take these guys out. And they'll take 2 more. So they're up to 3 shock now. Okay, and that's it for post-Tiffin, so I'll move on to the next turn. First card.
Oh, so the flag's up now, right? So the sun's up.
Yeah, flag is
The
up.
flag is up.
I think I said I was going to do it at the start of this turn, or whenever he activates, it'll be up. But that is a blue 6, which is Horton, your cannon. Off with Horton against Melholland.
Present
He's
fire.
presenting, first firing, needing 3s.
And that's all but 1.
So 9 hits. Damn. Okay, so what is that? 3 each? Three each on these guys. So we'll start over here. It's a dead and a shock. Middle group, a dead and 2 shock. Hell of a cannonball. And 2 shock. So dead, dead, and then shock, 2 shock, 2 shock.
2 rounds to load. 2 actions.
Yeah,
to
2
load?
actions to load.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought I remembered that.
But for some reason, I seem to remember using sharp practice. You can fully reload. So that's how the sharp practice is so good with the cannon, because you can be firing it like every turn. You just need
Sharp
2
practice
flags.
is 2 flags.
2
Okay.
flags. Yeah. So next card. And there's 1. Leader 2. That's Hume. He's the, that's these guys here.
Oh.
Pull another shock.
Yeah, we're gonna face this way. That's all right.
Okay, next card.
Red
That's
two.
Lieutenant Dan. Lieutenant Dan, we're going to continue with the charging. This is going to look a little bit more, even though it's 9 against 7. I only get 9 because I'm 1 level higher than him as light infantry. So it's going to be needing 5s and 6s. Uh-oh. Only 2. A 5 and a 6. So Steve's only going to get 7 dice.
2 5s.
2 5s. Okay, let's check our leaders. It's not Lieutenant Dan. See if it's Fraser.
But there's no 6s in there.
Yeah, that's fine. There's still kills. It's not Fraser either. So you take a shock and you lose 2 guys. I lose 2 guys, but don't take a shock. And then I think we just fight again. And we're both still over half strength. So it's the same exact thing. 9 against 7 again. So come on, Lieutenant Dan. Uh-oh.
Another crappy.
Not looking good for Lieutenant Dan. He's only got 1 that time. Can Fraser defeat Lieutenant Dan? Oh
Most definitely.
yeah, that's not looking good for Lieutenant Dan. How many is that?
4 kills.
Yeah. Okay, see if it's Lieutenant Dan. It is. See what happens to him. He's knocked out. So that means I lost 3 guys and took 3 shock. They're gonna break. They're gonna have what, 4 shock now with 1 guy. So they're gonna break 2d6. So 9 plus 6 back. Okay, so the last guy took all the shock with him, 4 shock, so he broke over there. Lieutenant Dan's knocked out. And I dropped 3 force morale on that. So we're both at 8 now. So next card. Blue flag. You can start practice the cannon and reload it. Or not.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Okay, so
Sure, tried that.
reloading the cannon. Red flag. I need 4 red flags to end the game. Okay, 2 more in the sun, and then the people notice the flag and rebel. That's a red 4. That's Captain Clark and the sailors. I've had Clark charge. He's going to stay level 1. I'm not going to burn my 2 flags, so I want to see if I can possibly get the 4 flags and end the game. But we're going to have him charge, so I'm still clan because I'm charging. This gives me 10, plus 2 for being aggressive, plus 1 for Clark, minus 1 for the shock. Meanwhile, so I'm getting 12. Steve's got 6, minus 1 for the shock. So 12 versus 5. I should win this. Yeah. 1? Oh my god. So all my luck for my fisticuffs is gone. I've used them all. I've used all of my 5s and 6s. Oh boy. You got 1. Well, so we each lost a guy. A tie. But I did take a shock because you rolled a 6. And then we roll for our leaders. Or you don't even have a leader. I have a leader, but it's not him. Okay, so we'll fight again, but minus 1 more for me. So I'm down to 11.
I'm up to 5.
All right, come on, crew, let's do this.
Oh,
there we go.
Nasty.
Now we're talking. Like that almost wiped your whole group out.
Yeah.
I think it might have. You only got
6.
7 dudes. You got 1 guy left. So let's see if you can do any more damage to the sailors. So you got 1 of them. Check and see if it's Clark. It's not Clark. So I take another shock for that 6. I lose a guy. You lose
6 guys.
6 guys. And you're gonna break.
Oh,
You're gonna break and run off the board. So we'll roll out the bad things and be back. Next card. Oh, red flag. 1 more and it's game over. Ah, there it is. The banner is raised. The citizens have seen it.
Cannons don't get their shot.
They're grabbing their muskets, and we'll come back and wrap it up. Okay, so here we are, wrapping it up. The flag is unfurled. The banner of Agua Caliente. It's a fun game. A lot of fisticuffs. I think I probably did more fisticuffs than shooting in this game, which never has happened. My cavalry never got a chance to come in. Do anything. These guys never fired. Your Laguerre never fired. Your cannon fired once. Your Grenadiers only fired once, but that was after they got broken in half by the sailors. So MVP for me got to be sailors. Or no, Lankowski possibly. He cleared the breach, and then he charged, and he was going to hold that whole left flank by himself. So either Lankowski or the sailors. I'll go sailors. Captain Clark and the crew, after being pinned up in the basement of that house, were
pissed.
They were pissed. They wanted revenge. They got it. Sharp and the men climbed up, put the banner of Agua Caliente on the roof, and then somehow I got 4 flags. That was a miracle. Otherwise, like we were just saying, this game could have gone on forever if I never got those 4 flags, or until the chapter ended, which the odds of that are not very good when you have that many cards in the deck. Like almost 20 cards in there. So anyway, yeah, it was a good game. I think it was a pretty good scenario. Steve thinks that we should have had the sun come up a little earlier. That would have helped Steve a lot for sure. He would have been able to do more shooting.
I also rolled the 3-turn differential.
Yes.
If I had rolled a 1-turn differential.
Oh, yeah. That made a big difference. Yeah, if he would have rolled a 1 and they came in that next turn, they would have been up here in line firing and would have changed the game. But that's the roll of the dice. So yeah, it's a fun scenario. I think I probably could tweak it a little bit.
Great looking buildings too. I don't know where those came from.
These are the Charlie Foxtrot Panteal buildings. Yeah, they're awesome. Love them. Use them here. We use them in Mexico. They're Italy, wherever, any kind of Mediterranean or area. They're super awesome for that. But yeah, it was a good game. We somehow pulled it off. I think maybe the sailors, I wouldn't want to say the sailors are maybe a little overpowered, but Steve did have a chance to put a hurting on him. I just got a hell of a good save roll. I got 2 shock and a dead, and you hit me like
In the back.
every single, like 7 of the 8 shots, or you fired 10 shots at me. You hit almost all of them, and then I had just an amazing saving roll. But if they would have taken like 6 shock, that would have been, they would have been combat ineffective. They would have just sat there.
I think this scenario-wise, you should have them in there. It makes it so it's not just 2 sides approaching.
Yeah. Well, like someone said on the live stream, Spanish guerrillas would be better, but I don't have any Spanish guerrillas, so it had to be sailors. But yeah, Spanish guerrillas would have been cool hiding out in the basement or trapped in the basement, just the same as the sailors. So anyway, yeah, let us know what you guys think of this scenario. What maybe changes that could be made to make it better. But overall, I think it worked pretty well. So with that, we'll go ahead and end it. So thanks to Steve for coming out. Thanks to all the guys from the live stream as well, helping us with rules again. And check out our channel sponsor for this game, which is Cigar Box. They'll be in the comments if you want to get one of these cool mats. There's 2 of them here. And check out our social media stuff, Patreon, or Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, as well as our Patreon if you want to help the channel out and support us in what we do here. We always appreciate that. And with that, I'll say thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.